Alright, let's do another garden tour. Take a look at how the plants are faring through this hot summer. Start off in the wildflower garden that is mostly turned into a black-eyed Susan garden. See in the back here we have some broccoli and some snapdragons and some spent Shasta daisies. Strawberries starting to spread along that undergrowth. And this oregano in thyme, which I know I've threatened to take out before, but every time I go to cut it, I see a bee land and pollinate the flowers, and I don't have the heart to take their food away. Here's some broccoli. This is definitely going to be my last year growing broccoli. I can't do it. Here we have some dill. Love my dill. Go into seed, gonna drop those seeds, plant more dill. Behind it I have this mustard. It's delicious. You have to eat it when it's a small, tender leaf, though. And behind it, got a currant. And over here, my poppies. Listen to that rattle. Alright, and on the other side, I have 2 volunteer tomatoes. One is an Italian grape, I think, and the other is a yellow pear. Pretty healthy large bushes for 2 volunteers. And then behind those tomatoes I have my blackberry and my marionberry bushes. Zoom on over to my other volunteer tomato. That's a purple bumblebee. And here are these salvias. This was a much larger plant last year. It went to seed. Zinnias, more of that mustard, volunteer spoon tomatoes, penstemons, cosmos, just kind of a mess over here. Got my yarrow, got my horehound, more cosmos. This cosmo bush is actually giving me problems, ruining my irrigation. Here we have a nasturtium, a snapdragon, and a strawberry all heavily planted together. This is Jupiter's beard? Saturn's beard? I think Jupiter's beard. My first time growing that this year. And over here I have some cucumbers, finally getting big. The cucumber and a watermelon right next to it. Finally showing growth here at the end of July. A little penstemon patch, so these keep dropping seeds and growing new penstemons. And my dahlias, or my wife's dahlias, they're finally popping up too. We'll have flowers here before the end of the month. Here are my potatoes. First time growing potatoes this year, so who knows if I'll get a harvest. The plant does look pretty good. And behind my potatoes, I am growing this squash. Gill's Golden Pippin Squash, I believe is the name of it. Got it from M.I. Gardener. Very, very lovely color. I also have other pumpkins planted here. These are the Jackby little pumpkins, and potentially sugar pumpkin that I just got from a pumpkin farm last year. Got it going on both sides of the trellis, so hopefully by Halloween I will have a trellis covered in miniature pumpkins. This sunflower is really the highlight of my garden this year. It's a volunteer sunflower. I haven't planted sunflowers in years, but this one has the most lovely shade of brownish, purple, pink. I don't even know what to call it. The petals here are just outstanding. And it definitely got planted with these other sunflowers here. Most likely by a bird or a mouse dropping the seed, trying to get back to their home. And these sunflowers I have everywhere, this very bright yellow. But it came from a sunflower that did have that reddish tint we saw before. And here's a look at the height of my sunflowers this year. It's not the tallest I've ever grown, but it comes close, second closest. Japanese eggplant, the ping tongue eggplant, very prolific. Not a very large plant this year, but lots and lots of fruit. And here is the Casper eggplant, similar Japanese eggplant, but all white. White as a ghost. This is my other pumpkin patch, so we got big pumpkins over here on the right. Got a couple of eggplants, not doing too hot. Snowball tree. Volunteer tomato. But this is a cool gourd. This is the birdhouse gourd. You can see how it's growing there. Exactly birdhouse shaped. Those will be fun to dry. The pepper box it's doing okay. It's not as good as my pepper box a couple of years ago, but it's starting to fruit out quite a bit. Specifically these, the Lesia pepper, it is growing a bunch of these, and this is the most delicious pepper I've ever had. It's a sweet, thick-celled, sweet pepper. Delicious. In the first garden box to the side here, we have more snapdragons, more oregano, and the Jerusalem artichoke. The Jerusalem artichoke's finally looking happy. It's been struggling so far this year. And in the third garden box, we have garlic. I already harvested my garlic, but this is my second planting. And then we got a tomato plant back there that's pretty happy. In the flower box, I still have a bunch of golden chamomile. I think I'm about ready to harvest this for the final time this year. And we'll go over what we do with the golden chamomile. Dyer's chamomile. As a hint, we will be making dye with it. On the other side of the flower box, the yarrow is mostly spent, but I do have this hardy geranium, the bloody crane's bill. My first time growing that this year as well. Excited for that. It should spread and start to fill out that section of the garden. The white tomato, not getting a lot of love from me this year. Massive plant, but needs some work. Here are my clone tomatoes. All of these came from clones. Went over how to clone tomatoes in a video a week or two ago. Lavender bush has passed its prime. Nasturtiums are starting to fill out this planter finally. I think I might have planted too many in it, and they're stressing each other out. And then another eggplant here. Besides all that, I have my yarrow bush still making flowers, those lovely red flowers. Got a lemon balm right there. Bee balm, I mean. And this strawberry's finally taken over the ground around the blueberries here, so it's cool to have that little berry patch together. Behind the berries, I have some zinnias popping up. And I have green beans out the ears. These are growing over everything, overtaking everything in this part of the garden. Every square inch of available space getting taken by these green beans. I also have a lot of volunteer marigolds. I didn't plant any marigolds this year. All of them are volunteers, which is cool. Got my hop. Some echinacea. And this whole part of the garden I'm just starting to refer to as the jungle, because there is just way too much plant life in here. I need to get in there, I need to thin it out, but it's creating its own ecosystem, so I think I'll maybe just leave it until winter. Looking at the tomato wall, love my tomato wall, starting to get overgrown. Need to figure out a way to give some extra support. The willow tree planted right next to it is providing some of that support. The tomato vines are growing into the willow tree, and that's going to be its own mess to take care of this fall. Here's a look at the raspberry bramble. Got a few different species, or varieties of raspberry here, rather. The one I'm most excited for is just starting to flower. I'll have a very small batch of golden raspberries here in a month or two. Now, on the other side of the jungle, I have some tomatoes that really are not doing well. I can't decide what the issue is. I think it's too much wind, too much sun. But here, corn, the first corn that I've grown, and it's got a weird story. So I was checking in and I picked an ear of corn earlier, and lo and behold, it's got corn smut, a fungal infection. It really is bringing my two favorite hobbies together of mycology and gardening right here. So this corn is infected with a fungus. You can see it elongates the kernel, and when you pop open the kernel, all that black stuff, that's the spores of the mushroom that has infected this corn. A delicacy in Mexico. I was too scared to try to eat it. And across the walkway here, I have some more corn. This is a different variety over here. And some echinacea. And more of that salvia. That pink salvia. There's a bunch of baby plants here that never germinated until the end of July, so... And the last stop on our tour, quick walk around the beast. I harvested all those carrots, or pulled the flowers. Got some true hyssop there. Got some sage. Have this aster that's about to bloom. Broccoli gone to seed. Some kale that looks real healthy and fine right there. More tomatoes. These ones are in a better shape than the last tomato patch we looked at. More carrots. These ones are really ready to harvest. More tomatoes, a couple of peppers. See all those carrots along the wall there. My last 3 plants of corn, 4 or 5 plants of corn it looks like. This is also a different variety than the other 2. Some yellow pear tomatoes that I need to go harvest before my boy gets to them. And last but not least, ground cherry. Very happy ground cherry and some Ailsa onion.